How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Snap Take. My name is Savage Yeti, and I'm here covering for Glazer. For those of you who don't know me, I have my own YouTube channel, Savage Yeti Gaming. I do Marvel Snap stuff, deck videos, bundle breakdowns, all kinds of stuff. So go check me out over there if you like this video, if you like the stuff that I have to say. But Glazer is on vacation. I don't know how many more days he's actually on vacation, but I'm covering this video for him. So I have a few decks for you guys, some exciting ones. I've actually been playing them all day. I have some footage of them. I'm going to do videos on each of these decks on my channel. So if you want to see some gameplay for them, go check out my videos. Go check out the original creators videos. I will link all of them in this. We will cover all of it. But before we get started, we have to talk about the Snap Judgments League. I'm not going to go through this entire thing with you. Glazer has done it multiple times. It starts on March 2nd. You have to be a $1 Patreon contributor to the Snap Judgments Patreon. All of that, you know this. You play one game a week. You're going to schedule your own games against your opponent. You'll be told your opponent, I don't know which day, either Monday or Friday, but you'll be told your opponent. You'll schedule with them throughout the week. You can record your games and submit them. You will have a chance that me and Glazer will do some commentary on your games on my channel and on his channel. I think some other creators will be doing some commentary as well. So you have a chance to be featured on one of those. There's a lot of really cool creators playing. You'll might get a chance to play against them as well. But the main draw here, and the part that I want to stress is, yeah, the tournament's fun and everything, but we did like a mock week a couple weeks ago, last week. And the amount of people that I've met in the Discord in the last couple of weeks, just the person I got matched up against, meeting people, socializing on the Discord, seeing cool new decks that people are posting, having people ask questions, and just the sense of community that's being formed over there. It's still pretty new, but the sense of community that's being formed over there, it is my favorite Discord to check into. I check into it every day, multiple times a day, even more times than I check the creator Discord for the official Marvel Snap. So at minimum, join the Discord, be a part of that community. And if you want to be a part of the Snap Judgments League, consider being a part of it. I'm really excited. I'm sure Glazer has sold you on the league already. But let's talk about why you should subscribe. A little bit of story time here. First of all, subscribe to my channel. Again, I've already said this. A little bit of story time. A year ago, almost to the day, Glazer asked me to come on the podcast and talk some Marvel Snap. This was last February. I didn't know who he was. I'd never been on a podcast before. I was new to creating content, and he asked me, and I was so excited to be on. Did the podcast with him, had a blast. I was super nervous. If you go back and listen to that episode, you might be able to hear my voice, but I was so nervous, and I had a fantastic time. And ever since then, me and Glazer have been really good friends. We talk every day, every other day, and this dude has grown the podcast and this channel from where it was a year ago to the massive thing that is today. He has his hand in every creator's pot. I'm sure if you ask any Marvel Snap creator if they know Glazer, I'm sure they do, and I'm sure he's featured their decks. This man goes and researches all different decks from all different creators, big and small, puts them together every day, makes a video, shows you the decks a lot of times before even the meta gets a hold of them. I'm sure you're already subbed, but if you're new and this is the first video you're watching, go watch some of the other videos with Glazer and the stuff that he does. He brought me into the community. I know a lot of creators through him. He has helped a lot of smaller creators, again, including myself, get known, get seen, and he deserves all of the subscriptions, all of the praise. He deserves all of it. Deck credits outline. We already did the tournament. We're going to go over questions of the day. Got a few of them. And then we have 3 decks. One from Mowgli. There's a link to his Twitter here. There'll be a link in the description. And then a bundle guide for the new bundle. It's not magnets. How do they work? 1 second. The power of editing. Ready, Aim, Fire. Ready, Aim, Hellfire bundle is in the shop. We'll talk about that. And then a deck from Spyro. Pretty sure he's been on this channel before. And then Owicast deck from him. Fantastic. 3 decks. I've been playing them all day. Like I said, I will have gameplay videos over on my channel if you want to check that out. Let's get to the questions of the day. JS Gamerboy 64 asks, what's the best way to get collector tokens? This question makes me sad because at the moment the best way by far is real money cash bundles, unfortunately. There used to be really good ways with their large gold bundles to get collector tokens. They've changed some things with the new spotlight caches. They've changed some things with how they do bundles. And now it looks like cash bundles are unbelievable value most of the time now. And gold bundles are much worse than they used to be. They're not terrible, they're not trash, but cash bundles are definitely the way to go if you're looking to get collector tokens. If you're talking about free to play, the gold bundles are going to be the best way still. They're just not going to get as much. And it seems like Marvel Snap Second Dinner has kind of figured out that if they make the cash bundles better value and they make the gold bundles worse value, people are probably more likely to spend gold on variants to complete the collection track things and or the albums, and people are more likely to spend money on some of these cheaper high value cash bundles. So unfortunately, that's the answer for now. I hope they release bundles for us to see them ahead of time and we can plan, and I can go back to budgeting and show you guys what you should be buying, what you should be saving for. But for now, we don't have that. Next question, Jason Salazar wants to know what the Marvel Snap auto deck builder is based on. From my understanding, the deck builder uses Second Dinner's data on what some of the best performing decks are. I don't think it gives you like the top deck of anything like that, but if you say put in Black Knight, I think it gives you one of the most popular and well performing decks that you can craft with your collection. If you give it a bunch of random cards, I think it just finds where the most synergies lie and they throw those in. I don't know how up to date their database is. I remember when America Chavez got changed, she was still being included in the auto deck builder as the old version, so she was being thrown in decks that didn't make any sense. But I'm pretty sure it uses their database on what the most winning and most popular decks are to make those decks for you and fill in those last few cards. Kaneko Cat, don't know how to say your name, in the Discord asked, what's a good compromise between no bundle data and data mine bundle data that changed? Man, this is also a tough one. For those of you who know my channel, my channel was very focused on bundles, upcoming bundles, budgeting for Marvel Snap, how you should spend, save your gold, what cash bundles are worth buying, what aren't. And they've since removed the data mine bundles, so we have no idea what's coming out in the future. I think we can see like some variants and stuff, but no idea as far as the value of bundles coming out in the future. For a while there, we did have some data, like through January. We had some data, but every week those data mine bundles got changed. And so that data was inconsistent. We had the dates and what variants and everything, but the data for how many tokens, how many credits you're going to get for each bundle kept getting changed. And so I don't know what a good compromise is. I will say, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but there are some creators, including myself, that are pushing in the creator Discord or just in general, trying to ask Second Dinner to possibly give us bundled data, you know, a few days or like a week ahead of time, maybe a weekly schedule, release to us what bundles are coming out. That way for channels like mine, I can create those daily bundle videos ahead of time. I can make the value videos for you guys to come out right when it releases so that you're not left in the dark. I think that's probably the best compromise. Unfortunately, that really helps us creators more than it helps the public. I know that a few months ago, I think it was the Loki season or the season before that, they released in the game, in the news, all the bundles coming out for the month. So you were able to plan. There were official bundle releases. There were some errors that they had to change, but there were official bundle releases, and I had no problem with it. But apparently Second Dinner wants to be able to tweak those bundles last minute based on what the overall player needs are. So if players need more credits overall, or players need more tokens because a big card just came out that most players spent tokens on, they want to be able to tweak those. So I hope they can give us like a week ahead of time, give us some bundles that are going to release for that week so that we can bring content to you guys and at least analyze them ahead of time for you guys. If you want your questions added to tomorrow's video, make sure you leave a question in the comments. I think Father Newman is doing tomorrow's video. I'm not entirely sure, but make sure you go leave a question in the comments. He might get to it. Glazer might get to it when he gets back. Anyways, let's talk about the first deck by Mowgli. It's an infinite, she not, infinite, not, she infinite. Whatever. It is a She-Hulk Infinite deck with that early game Black Knight shell. So of course you have, Black Knight and you have your discard cards. Only one discard outlet in this deck. We'll get to the replacements in a little bit, but and we'll get to the turn by turn. But essentially you're trying to have that early game Black Knight discard stuff, bring stuff back with Ghost Rider, make a big Ebony Blade, that kind of a play style, but then also have the opportunity to discount cards with She-Hulk, maybe buff up Sunspot, discount She-Hulk by skipping and floating energy, buff up Sunspot, and then get a big play with Infinite Magneto. Obviously you have Magic here to extend the game an extra turn. That kind of goes hand in hand with the She-Hulk and Infinite. If you're not going to play Magic, I would highly recommend not playing She-Hulk. A lot of the time you're getting the Magic is going to allow you to get a free She-Hulk on turn 7. But let's go by the turn by turn. I actually had a lot of fun playing this today. Not my favorite deck of the 3 that we're going to talk about, but I did have a lot of fun with it. So let's talk about the replacements, the possible replacements, and what I recommend changing if you don't have some cards. First of all, you need She-Hulk, you need Black Knight. That's what the focus of this deck is. If you don't have She-Hulk, I probably wouldn't play Magic, and I would just steer more into the Black Knight archetype. And if you don't have Black Knight, I would just steer more towards the She-Hulk Infinite archetype that we've seen before. So you do need those cards. If you don't have Shadow King, you can try Blade. I noticed that sometimes with this deck, I wanted that extra discard outlet, and I felt like Lady Sif maybe wasn't enough to be as consistent. However, the creator of the deck says that Lady Sif was actually working out really well. So did I have a small sample size? Did they have a small sample size? I don't know, but I don't think I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having a Blade in the Shadow King slot, or if you don't, if you want to keep Shadow King, you can put a Blade in the Sunspot spot. The Sunspot spot. However, I do like having Sunspot in here when you're playing She-Hulk. It makes that skipping a turn not feel so bad because at least you're getting some stats in the Sunspot. Obviously, your tech slots here, Shang-Chi and Enchantress, you can swap those around. You can play Rogue. You can play some other 4-drops that you may like. Miss Marvel, don't know how well she would work in this deck, but those are your tech slots. And again, if you want gameplay, check out my channel. I have a video up. Could have been yesterday, could be today, and could be tomorrow. I'm not sure what order I'm going to release the gameplay and things on, but I did already film gameplay for all 3 of these decks, so keep an eye out for that. Turn by turn. Turn 1, you're looking to Black Knight over Sunspot, but it does depend on your hand. If you have that She-Hulk Infinite route and not your Lady Sif, then playing the Sunspot turn 1 is going to be better. If you have that Lady Sif, you have your Ghost Rider, you have that direction, then Black Knight is going to be better. I found a lot of times Black Knight is just better to play kind of blind if you don't know which direction you're going to go. But you have Black Knight. Turn 2, you're looking to Zabu or Sunspot or Black Knight, depending if you have Zabu in hand. If not, play the other 1-drop. Turn 3, again, Zabu. You really want Zabu out to have some big plays with Shang-Chi and Enchantress on the last turn. If you don't, Lady Sif to discard something, or Magic to extend the game out to the turn 7. I will say that some of my games, you do find that you opt out of playing Magic because you don't want to extend the turn. One of the games I played was against like a high Evo deck where they're just going to do She-Hulk things better than me. And so I didn't want to extend the game. So you do need to be a little bit picky with Magic. You're not just slamming her down every time with this deck. And then turn 4, if you play Sif, you have Ghost Rider. If you haven't, you can play Sif, you can play Magic, early Shang-Chi or Enchantress. And then turn 5 to 7, don't have a play line. You're just going to have to adapt. Either you're going to play your Magneto, you're going to play your Ebony Blade, you're going to skip a turn to play She-Hulk Ebony Blade, whatever it is. That's kind of the goal. If you can discard on turn 3 with Sif, you discard the Infinite and you get that Ebony Blade, you can skip turn 5, play She-Hulk, play Ebony Blade on turn 6. That's the goal. That's a turn by turn with this deck. I really liked it. 62% win rate in 43 games for the creator of the deck for Mowgli. I had some success with it too. I played on my phone, so I don't have my win rate, but it definitely felt like a good deck and definitely one that you should try. Next up, we have the Spyro Darkhawk Annihilus deck. Not a lot of games registered with this deck, so I don't have a win rate for you, but I did play it, and I really do like this shell. I like how it's constructed, and I liked being able to play Annihilus and have it feel good again. With the Darkhawk package in there, you're able to get a lot of power, and I really like it. There's not a whole lot to say with this deck. We'll go over how to play it, but it is that, you know, Annihilus, Sentry, Hood, that whole package with, you know, some reactive cards like Shang-Chi, and then of course the core Grok Slide, Black Widow, Darkhawk package. So the replacements, you do need Zabu, you do need Darkhawk, you need Sentry, and you need Annihilus. Sentry is good with Annihilus. Annihilus needs that extra negative power to send over to be viable. It's built for Annihilus, obviously. It's built for Sentry. And then, you know, if you don't have Darkhawk, you're going to want to steer away from the core Grok Slide package and go into something else. If you don't have Eliath, you can try Miss Marvel, you can try Doctor Doom, you can try Rogue, you can just try more tech cards, Enchantress, that kind of a thing. Eliath isn't 100% necessary. I actually don't think I won games because of Eliath. So you can try those. You can even try like Magneto or something like that. Just another big, good 6-drop that has some utility. Magneto catches people off guard a lot of the times. If you don't have Iron Lad, you can play Enchantress, or Jubilee is an option. Jubilee obviously not as good as Iron Lad in this list, but she is an option. And next up, the turn-by-turn snapping. On turn 1, this is actually from Spyro himself. He commented on his deck on Twitter and came up with the turn-by-turn plays, and I didn't want to mess with that. So turn 1, Hood is greater than Korg. In this scenario, you want to play Hood, get that demon. Turn 2, Zabu is your go-to play. Obviously, you don't have Zabu. Play another 1-drop, play what you can. Turn 3, Rock Slide, get that the Darkhawk stats going. Widow, Sentry is your next option. Iron Lad. I think turn 3, you also have to adapt. Same with kind of turn 4. If you have Annihilus, playing an early Sentry is not a bad idea. Spyro has played more games than me, so I'm going to trust what he's saying here. But there were some games where I opted to play Iron Lad, depending on what I had in my deck, and I opted to play Sentry early. Turn 4, adapt. Play some 1-drops, play an extra 3-drop or 4-drop, whatever it is. Turn 5, you're looking to Annihilus or Darkhawk. A lot of times I like to save Annihilus for turn 6 if I have a demon, so I can Annihilus and demon on the last turn. But you're kind of figuring this out on turn 5. But a turn 5 Annihilus is not bad, especially if you have a Sentry out and a Hood out. On turn 6, Darkhawk plus Shang, Shang plus Shadow King, Eliath or Doom or Magneto, whatever you're playing, or Darkhawk with Shadow King and a demon if you have Zabu out. Lots of options to get power out on the last turn. The reactive cards with Shang-Chi, the ability to destroy your opponent's big cards. Just a really good deck. I've had a lot of fun with it. You know, being able to play Annihilus again and feel competitive. Not that Annihilus wasn't competitive for a while there, but I haven't played him in a while. So this gave me a chance to do that once again. And Darkhawk kind of felt like the old Darkhawk. So give it a shot if you have these cards. I know there's a lot of expensive cards in this one, but if you have them, give it a try. The Ready Aim Hellfire bundle. We're just going to go over this really quickly, but for $10, you get a Mystique variant, 600 credits, 1,000 gold, some boosters, and an avatar. This bundle, if you take the gold and convert it to credits in the shop, it's not that great, but the main goal for these bundles is to take that gold and buy a really good value gold bundle. The problem I have here is, as I said earlier, the gold bundles they've been releasing have not been very good. And if they continue to be trash as far as progression, then this 1,000 gold becomes much more worthless than it would otherwise be. So for $10, do I recommend buying it? For me, I'm staying away from it because I'm not a fan of the variant. I have other better Mystique variants, and this value, even if another gold bundle is good, this value isn't like super crazy where it's a must buy. And you don't know how the future gold bundles are going to be. So if you like the variant and you're looking for good progression, I would say go ahead and buy this. If you don't like this variant, it's not like a for sure purchase this because the progression is really good. And I would skip it if you don't like the variant. Good thing is it's a cheap bundle, nothing too crazy. Marvel Snapstone gives it a 4 out of 5 stars. My rating system's a little bit different, but generally we do agree. Lastly, OEcast, Corvus Circus. This is by far the most creative way that I've seen Corvus get played. Yes, it's Corvus LOCKJAW. Yes, that's very popular, but with Silver Surfer and all these other 3-drops, just really interesting. I did have a lot of fun with it. I will say, for me, Silver Surfer wasn't the most impactful card. Then again, I didn't have a huge sample size with this, but it was a lot of fun to play. I did have a lot of fun with Corvus, the ability to get that extra energy and get a 6-drop out on turn 5 and a 6-drop out on turn 6. Not a lot of people are playing this deck right now, so Silver Surfer is kind of a surprise card here. Get some extra power into some of those other lanes, especially if you fill up that LOCKJAW lane. Surfer can get some extra power over there if you're losing or whatever it is. So let's talk about the replacements. We have Silver Surfer. If you don't want to play the Surfer route, you can swap him out for Tech. You can play Shang, an Enchantress, a Rogue. You'd probably swap out like Mobius for Rogue if you want. Speaking of Mobius, if you don't have Mobius, you can swap it out for a Magic and extend the game for longer, get more discards, get more out of your Hela, get multiple 6-drops out. Also Rogue, so Magic or Rogue. If you don't have Blob, I would probably just play Magneto. Magneto's really useful at the moment, especially with all the Lockjaws around. The ability to move the Lockjaw out on that last turn and stop your opponent from getting that trigger is fantastic. You do need Thanos for this, not replaceable. This deck is built around Corvus, so I don't know if I would swap him out. If you're going to swap out Corvus, I'd probably just play something else. But yeah, a lot of fun. An interesting take on Thanos, Lockjaw, Hela, discard Surfer thing. It's kind of just a crazy archetype. I had a lot of fun with it. Is it the most competitive? Not yet. I do think it needs some ironing out, but is it fun? Was I winning games with it? Of course I was. Turn by turn. Turn 1, you're looking to mainly Time Stone on turn 1 so that you can Lockjaw on turn 2 and then just start getting those stones out. Start getting those Lockjaw triggers. If you don't have Time Stone, any other draw stone is fine. And then if you don't have any draw stones, drop the other stones. Just get some stuff out. On turn 2, if you did Time Stone, as I said, you want to play Lockjaw or another 3-drop. Lockjaw would be ideal so that on 3 you can start dropping stones into him. And if you don't have a 3-drop or a Lockjaw, or you didn't play Time Stone, just play stones. Playing more stones on turn 2. On turn 3, obviously Lockjaw. If you don't have that, you can play Corvus. If you don't have Hela in hand, it's really important. You need to be careful. If you have Hela in hand, you need to be careful about playing Corvus. You need to be careful about playing Sif, and you need to be careful about throwing stuff into the Lockjaw lane. If you have Hela in hand and you throw things in the Lockjaw lane, you can discard your Hela because you have no idea what's going to come out. There's a lot of random card discards in this deck with Corvus and Moon Knight and Gambit, and so you don't have that targeted discard like you do with Blade, like you do, I mean, you have Sif in here, but a lot of random discards. And when I was playing it, of course, Hela got discarded every time. So just be careful when throwing stuff into Lockjaw. Turn 4, again, stones in the Lockjaw, more 3-drops. On turn 5, if you played Corvus, you can play a 6-drop. Otherwise, more stones, more 3-drops, more discard to set up for that turn 6 Hela. And then if you don't have Hela, obviously more stones and another 6-drop if you have that extra energy from Corvus. So again, be careful with Hela in your hand. If you had discarded something and you play and you pull Hela out of your deck early with Lockjaw, it's not the end of the world. You're getting power out. It's a lot of power. But if you discard Hela from your hand, it really feels bad with this deck because it really feels like your main win con is gone, and it's hard to come back from that. So super fun deck. Again, I really like Corvus. I'm excited for Proxima Midnight to come out. And I really just like this creative deck archetype where you're mashing up, it really is a circus. You're mashing up, Thanos, Lockjaw, Silver Surfer, discard Hela, a lot of different things. And it works really well. I had a lot of fun with it, so give it a shot. Big thanks to all the patrons. the patrons. Big thanks to all of them. I don't know if this is all of them. This is the slide that Glazer had a few days ago. This is what I'm using. So if there's more of you, sorry, but this is what you got. Thank you to all of you. And lastly, thank you, Glazer, for letting me do this. If you guys are interested, go check out my channel. Go check out the stuff that I have. Please go check out the Discord for Snap Judgment. Join the Patreon. It's $1 a month. You're contributing. I think all of that is being used on the tournament. It takes a lot to run this tournament. So go check it out. At minimum, go join the Discord and just be a part of the community. Keep an eye out. And yeah, that's it. As usual, if you love all things Marvel Snap, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.